Hey mateys, this is Discover Scouts, a Pirates of the Caribbean film series. It's giving to new, and tonight is in November 16 and 2016. So the day it is in Wednesday, with the last Wednesday will be 16, and the 12 o'clock will be 12 o'clock a.m. midnight will be about Thursday 17. This is where we talked about employees jobs, and where to get to terminated and fired, losing a job, and let them go. You know, so we're gonna have to talk about somebody who have the employees got his job to do in a meeting in the office. Well, this is half of the enjoy time. We don't have any time about it. Long stories. So we can do it about 22 minutes. Sound like good deal, minis? That's what I did, good deal. So we're gonna have to talk to you about vlogs, announcements, speed reviews, and we're gonna have to looking for it on the YouTube channels. So we talked about and the jobs and employees, but it gets the meeting in the office. So we're gonna have to much this time at about 20 to 30 minutes. So it's not takes longer than about 1 hour, just the 30 minutes only. Like 30 minutes. 30 minutes least. The only way to talk about for your jobs, for the job interestings, and why you guys are working, making the money. So you got to join your fun, either some lunch and employee friends, socializations, keeping themselves to the very best friends, it's as long as your best ways to ever be started about very rationals, quotations, and so do you notice about I have a very special to do. This is the most very important if you wanted to be communicating our service customers, as who knows about helping each other's returnings and making money to work with each other for to get you doing great, perfect, excellent jobs, So interesting for the after they graduated from 4-year college, from a high school to the second ones. For third one is junior high schools, and to get you guys to the credits for students, all the credits every year. So transfers, you get the pay, get a job. Employee will help with the interviews, orientations, and started to work on every 4 or 5 or 6 and 7 days. So it's a good for the helping us to work in the month and the year. Is all you need to do is wherever it takes a lot of the moments. If you do have much of working for, so if it get clock out at about AM and PM and an 8 and 00, and that means an AM. The 12 means 00 is PM. If a night is 5 is 00, and like it done about the clock out is 11 and 10 is 00, and 10:30 is 00. Not just early, about 5 minutes. And when an employee people it gets leaving the early, when it gets 2.5 from 2.0 to 2.5, and they'll get fired. They'll get about the fired, letting go, and losing their jobs. So he wouldn't understand the texting those guys on the phones, cell phones, and hearing the ringing on the cell phones in your pockets. So they'll get to terminating you. They'll get fired and losing your jobs. So you can You don't. We don't need to understand about the supervisor in the office, and that's why we could put the phone put the all the phones in the pockets, get to silence when you're done working during the take a break. Just wherever you got text your friends, wherever you want, just text your friends. During the 15-minute break. So 1 hour meal for eating the lunch, breakfast, and dinner, just like the breakfast, just like the dinner. If you can, just text your friends. So meeting, say hello there. How you doing? Doing good. Just shake a hand. So give them the hug. But one time at each side. Just one thing to do outside. So not inside, not hugging, no hitting, punching and pitching and pushing and shuffling, harassment for why they're working, and running around, playing around, horsing around. They'll get 2.0 and 2.5. It'll get fired and losing their jobs. They'll let you go. That's who says good luck to you. Understand? That's a bad people call harassment on the jobs, and the employees having endured issues have harassment. If you notice having an employee, if you having about to terminating why they did 2 hour shift, they'll get 2.0, and then employees, it'll be able to getting them fired, you're losing their jobs. Or you could work, if you're tired while you're working about 2 or 3 years, and tell a supervisor he'll quit the jobs. So he can unfortunately about 10 to 15 minutes to be is about saying goodbye for before turning out for quitting a job, or the last day, and the last days, whatever you tell us about orientated for the exit interviews, and last days, wherever you like. I sometimes feel like it's about very enjoyable, like and fun, while you're working about 3 to 5 years, 5 years every time for making the money, making it paychecks, direct depositing, and sort of having about making about the all of $1,000, 2 or 3, 4, 5. If you making the balance, everything we could having about much issues and about 1,000 rewards, making the money while from working if you can. So about cashiers, sales management, pushing carts, food service, and food management, cooking stuffs, and whatever they want. They have a much issues. They have the rules of the jobs to do. Some sort of if you're working with the hands, so you wanted to figure out, so pushing all this stuff for carts, very strong, much as you can while you after from working out if you can. So running and jogging and walking, and set up crunches, and do my abs, obliques, and do my crossover over crossover setups just like me, and tricep kickbacks just like me, and shoulder press straight forward if you can. So it's 10-pound dumbbells, just much as you can. So a calf raise, just hang on there with the hands on the wall. So under my legs, so my calves would be working out about 7 weeks ago. And came home from work, so they brought them from the treadmill. There are a lot about elliptical bicycles. So if you can, how to do it about much of you guys wanted to do every time. So I have to see what you guys about So do you have to much of where you're going to. So I have to take it a lot about 10 minutes ago. So we have to believe you guys wanted to say treadmill, say good show about the treadmills, the Nordic tracks. If you look at the bigger ones, if you can, have it and enjoy it, And sometimes my dad still brought up about treadmills in 2010. So when in the book in about 2013, and the new one treadmill of Proform is about June 2014, and I literally just ran over it about last 6 months, and I literally just stopped it for running, and something broke down to the right side of the the left rails there is almost about not working. That was about May 26th. That was in May 2016. Why they doing an orientated from Walmart thing. So I have to figure out. So I have to do something about Nordic Tides is searching for my seer, walking through the seers. So how is it going? So I have to tell you something about a lot of money about Nordic Tracks. The reason is I have to look at about the Dick's Sporting Goods. There's a treadmill also to figure out. The Walmart has a treadmill too. So I have to literally just see about how is this going on there. So how is it about it sometimes? How is it sometimes how is it a good thing going? So I have it very much good about the same thing and sometimes where it involves. For one of the good reasons, I haven't tell anybody about show you. I will show you guys about testing with the walking, the jogging, and running, if you can. So elliptical bicycle machines. So you can have to figure out to show you guys to the testing. If you do have the much every day for 30 minutes, and the treadmill would be 60 to 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes. So try to be careful on the treadmills. It'll be breaking about 3 years. So I have to make sure to be careful where you do it about 65 minutes. This is called 4-year warranty, including 2-year quantity and qualities. And the one is in a currency about almost about $19,000. It's also a lot of money. So I have a very making sure. I have a very intensity, very nauseous, very natural, and very reassaulted. And it notices. So he has my dad has 20 years. He has joining the army from the high schools for Maryland, for study for Maryland, for New York City, for New Jersey, for New York City. Also they do has about retiring. He has to retiring from 1994. He joins the post office about 22 years. He makes a lot of money. He was sort of about very particular to the being a lot about 7, 8 to 9 hour shift for every 6 days, included for 5 days, and very natural for 4 days. And my dad used to work shift for 4, 5, or 6 days. So he figured it out. He works about taking like a schedule, so every day of the week, in the month, in the year. So I haven't issues about it. My reasoning could tell us about it. And according to the interesting from my friends, my friends is on the college in the class, from high school to where I am for where I'm at about last 3 years. So for the junior high school who could follow me for where they can, for Ridgecrest Elementary Schools for following for what I could. So I didn't make it go to the college and universities. So where I did the joining after about graduating from college. They applying for the jobs and interviews, office, meeting, and some sort of about making self for the orientations, starting for work, making money, directing deposits, and account numbers. So account routing numbers. So if you can about it, making the paychecks, and you could do it direct deposits, and you could do the directly as another add for like an $800. So you could almost about 2 or 3, 4, 5, or 6,000 of them rewards. That could be the cost of about every year is about it enjoy it any time, some sort of about 15, 12,000. You can live yourself, you can live your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, some of the children, the kids, some of the brothers, some of the best friends, the brothers and boys and sisters has the girls, the best friends. So whatever you can live with your friends, the best friends, your brothers and sisters, has an issue, has the jobs to do, hang around your apartment. So if you can want to be about taking a tour about the gym, swimming pools, and walking around for apartments and the parks, and driving around the trip, and to California, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada. If you can about 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, just not in the 4 weeks. The 4 weeks doesn't like it by employee, but it did they're getting about able to get 2.0, and from 1.5 it'll get able to get the fire about the 28 days. They'll get fired and losing the jobs. They let it go. So if you can about 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, that can. We believe you. We believe you if you could. We understand what it's saying. So they can't be explaining what's just gonna happen for right now. For one of the good reasons, also about 5 minutes of socialization for talking to each other. They're really busy minding their own business. The one of them having to pack the things up for they're kicked out the building. They're letting go of the building. They'll get fired, losing a job. Some sort of about terminating, fighting, threatening, argument, apology. If you do, sorry, here I am. So if you do have much hitting, the punching, the biting, the pushing, the shuffling, so let's not do that, and don't do that again. So if you can about showing them respect, and they don't need to the argument right now why they're working. So they get 2.0 and 2.5, and they'll get able to lose their jobs and the fire. They haven't been able to sometimes, what happens right now. That's also what you do is you can have the weekend about fortunately be the attorney sometimes be investigated, and some sort of about why they're going, why they're following for no reason, why they're following. An employee's follower for the while suspected. So when the police stole, so someone else about arrested, going to jail, we're going about 3 days in jail, and suspect us arrested has the good reasons. So someone calls one of the reasons. So they left over about 10 minutes ago, and some sort of about police officers, sheriff patrols, security, and hardest about one of the reasons. That's just called crazy, and as much if you can about. Unfortunately, sometimes it looks about being about advanced problems there. They have an issue about employee jobs has been advanced. They haven't convinced what's the problem there for the 5 years past. for every 5 years. Every 10 years, he wins on the stand. They're mostly retiring about 35 years. There are a lot of people that have it retiring about every year. The much of the belief it was a long time ago. And some of them, my mom does cook a lot about Korean restaurants. So I haven't seen Miss Dillon about last year, and her daughter, her granddaughter, some sort of about some things to do. I haven't seen about since about the last 2 years. I haven't much since about 2012. How much than the grandfather did. For I noticed about it, she joins in about last 2 years till he was wrestling for the 3 years past. She graduated for the college and joining for the jobs and the universities, and before they graduated, undergraduates for the days. Before the 2 to 3 to 4 years passed, 4 years every day, every year. Before the interestings, I haven't much of worthless and power and ownerships, warmth, earn it, and respect. Everything. We have the issues wanted to figure out. So you have to understand. You have to do it about talk to the supervisors, having the good issues, having the good friends, and your families, having good friends, the customers and the customers' friends, and families, and during the break, during 15, 60-minute break, talk to your friends. So if you can, have it, enjoy it, have a time. So if you have the absence there for much of the issues, no fighting, no argument, no shoveling, no hugging each other, no shaking hands. Wherever you want. No punching, no hitting, no pushing, no shuffling, and crawling each other. It'll get fired and losing their jobs. You must understand. When I say I'm sorry, we're apologizing, we're accepted. Everybody questions, so you have to enjoy it. Follow me if you can. Have fun. Enjoy your time. This is the issues. Have working times every year for making money. I have it about $18,000 every year. $18,000 for year one. So if you can't unfortunately be an attorney, and just call someone else at about after the clock out for about AM and PM of 00, and morning to noon and afternoon and evening and it's 00 in the minutes. That's the word. Any questions? Enjoy your time. Have fun. Okay, maybe still for subscribe to my content. www.com, don't go price security films here, stalk us. Follow me about subscribers. It's my Jugger Nuggets, Big Brother, Jordy Starbuck, Kid Behind the Camera, Bridget West, Amanda Cohen, Jared Riley, Psycho Dad, Larry Sean, Show Bum, Psycho Mom, Psycho Aunt 1 and 2, Psycho Uncle 1, 2, and 3, and Melissa, and Crazy Boyfriend, Crazy Love, Nana Giles, Ilya Giles, and Ben Phillips, and Derek Diesel Daily, Cupid, the Cupid Life, Space Age Scars, Life of Moko, Life of Boo, Nest Boo, The Boo Show, and Bull Squad, Krieg, Wagon Dad, and Forever Alex Anna, Alexander Dario, and Logan Lerman, Logan Andra, and Brian T. Jackson, Levi Rambin, Jim Perrick, and Hollywood, Jake Aba, and Douglas Man. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, find situation, I see gaming charts, Juggy Stores, Tom Cocker Story, Talk, Play Stores, and Hangouts there. Love you guys in the death. Don't forget, guys, to keep it rich and many. See you guys in tomorrow morning. I'm going back to the Briar Lake Park. This is gonna be about Briar Lake Park Safari. Don't forget to keep it rich and minis.